Hello, everybody. Hello. Friday, May 14th. This is a good one. This is a good one. All right, it's going to be odd news. It's going to be... The car was funny. It's going to be Odd News Friday. People are crazy, bro. She saw me, actually I don't know who, he, she, I don't know if that, I didn't see the driver that close, but they saw me crossing at the crosswalk and they sped up and then cut the corner of the turn. They were about to wait. Number one. Russia, this is from Reuters. Russia picks cast for movie to be shot in space. Which is pretty funny. Pretty funny, but on the other hand, how come we haven't done that? Or have we? Russia has chosen 4 people to serve as non-professional crew members and actors in what is supposed to be the first movie shot in outer space. Well, that's quite... Wonder what the plot is of this movie. Russia, you know, it's going to be about saving their own lousy economy. All right. What are these major countries? Why don't they work on their own country rather than going into outer space? These big countries that... I saw this thing on Quora. This Russian guy on Quora was describing the difference between daily life in America and in Russia. He said there's just no comparison. You just get used to it. He said when you don't know anything else. No, I think the question, I forget what the actual question was, so that you can look it up. I apologize, but he was explaining why Russians want to move to the U.S., why certain Russians want to live here. He said you don't have any clue, and he went on to describe like the daily life and where you could live, like even just like he said, even just the possibility of buying a little house in the United States that that some people might consider a smaller house with like let's say a 1-car garage, or he said that'd be like living like a billionaire. Or you know, he said most people live in dingy apartments. Most people. And in terms of food, like when you go to the grocery store, the amount of food. And I just watched a couple videos. I don't know why Cuba, I don't know why this keeps coming up on my TikTok, but different people from Cuba. You know, TikTok's just this random series of videos. You don't know really what's coming up next. So I'd say I've seen 3 or 4 of these people from Cuba going to the grocery store in America for the first time, like a Costco, and they're just blown away. They can't believe it. Like they've never seen it before. Like they're like 40 years old. They've never seen anything like it before. You have to admit it would be overwhelming to go into like a Costco, or even just a regular grocery store where there's 45 different kinds of cereal and 17 different kinds of toothpaste. It would be kind of overload. It makes you wonder why these countries that are now including or working capitalism into their non-capitalist societies or governmental setups, why it took them so long. You're like, well, they've been here. I mean, how can that not seem like a distinct advantage than having two stale onions, and a couple of 5 rotten apples in the bins. I have no idea. I'm just exaggerating. All right. I think we've covered that one. Again from Reuters. Odd News Friday. Vlad the Vaccinator. Dracula's castle lures visitors with COVID-19 jabs. Doctors and nurses with fang stickers on their scrubs are offering free Pfizer shots to all comers at 14th century Bram Castle, which is reported to be the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. or terrifying. All right, so I have to admit here, fortunately I don't have that many, or really any people watching my Twitch streams, because I don't get on Twitch really at all. But if you are, I'm on Streamlabs now, so I don't really know. This is a new, plus I'm in the bright sun, I can't even really see the screen. Let me go over this. Let me go over to this shade here. I'm using the Streamlabs app rather than the Twitch app on my phone here. Oh, okay, we got one person apparently. All right, keep this quiet, whoever you are. No. I'm in this group called, I like old houses, right? So I stumbled upon this Facebook group called This Old House. And it's a bunch of old, bunch of people posting their old houses and things that they're renovating in their old houses. But I don't know why I specifically joined, just because I don't have an old house. But I do live in an old house. And I posted the other day for no other reason, it just occurred to me. It came to me and I just posted it. I said, hey, what can I do? I'm fairly sure the 1920s house I live in is haunted. I said, are there any resources, like maybe past episodes of This Old House or other resources that I can review to see the best way to handle one, possibly several ghosts. And I thought, well, immediately they'll kick me out of the group. Kick me out. I'm telling you, within 10 seconds. It is amazing on Facebook how many people are on there. How many groups there are, and it's just so big. But immediately somebody goes, hey, I have a ghost hunting company service. I will take care of it. Give me a call. Next person said, you should join this haunted house group. I said, what? There's a group on Facebook for people whose houses are haunted? Yes, there is. And I joined it right away. I still haven't done anything over there. But although I was being, trying to be humorous, I believe in ghosts. I believe that there are certainly ghosts in certain places. Otherwise, we're doomed. No. And this house that I live in is very likely haunted. So I don't have any proof of that, but things I've heard and seen are somewhat unexplained. Although I was trying to be kind of funny, which I thought would be picked up right away, but no, it wasn't. In fact, they're like, well, this is what I would do. So, by the way, one of the things that you should do, apparently, a very common answer. There's like 50 answers to this question. And I skimmed them, but I didn't have time to kind of get into it. And I thanked everybody that I could, even though I was trolling them. But sage is a common answer. You take sage and either put it at the doors or run it along the doors. Rub the doors with it. I'm not sure. I didn't have time, but I did see the word sage a lot. But don't go over to this group and bust me. They're going to kick me out. And everybody was very nice in with their, advice. I still think eventually I'm going to get kicked out because I'm going to write an article about this. All right, let's keep going. I think I was going to tell another story in there, but I lost it. Okay, this is again Reuters. Ordering takeout, try a live concert at home. Live concerts are on the menu for home delivery as musicians and audience seek to satisfy their appetite for human interaction. Lit up by a few stage lights, a nearby fire. Well, now I have to look at this story. I try to just stay with the headline, but I don't quite understand. Live concerts are on the menu for home delivery, blah, blah, blah. As the sun set in Piedmont, California, about 20 masked revelers gathered on the back porch of a home. There's a few stage lights, there's a fire. A guitarist, singer rolled in, happened to be performing again. So they're just home concerts, right? Because I know I needed it. Concert venues are largely shuttered. It's a way to bring music to the people. That's a good idea. I don't know. It's that because I've gone to comedy shows in homes. I guess it didn't seem that innovative to me, but hey, it's a good idea. If you can't go to the big local concert hall, homeowners typically book shows through the services and invite guests. Fees range from $1,000 to $5,000. The roster of artists aren't famous to me, but they are probably big in certain niches, etc., etc. Music niches. Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Sure. Hey, no doubt, no doubt. Everybody's hankering for human interaction, live music, going to the restaurants, going to the bars. For sure. All right, but is that fun? Is that odd news? My main odd news source is down, so I can't. UPI, they're the best. UPI.com has the best odd news. That was the source of the story, one of my favorite, of the guy that was running from the police, so he hid inside a washing machine, like a regular washing machine, top loader. So either that was a large capacity machine, or I think it was in India, so maybe they have different sizes of machines over there. I don't know, but I just pictured somebody, curling into the drum of a top loader. But they found him. The cops found him. Just in case you were wondering. All right, here we go. Fresh pizza vending machine, again Reuters, fresh pizza vending machine prompts curiosity and horror in Rome. Raphael Esposito, the 19th century Neapolitan credited with inventing Italy's most famous type of pizza, may be turning in his grave. Rome has a new vending machine which slides out fresh pizza in under 180 seconds. It's called the Mr. Go Pizza. Prices range from like $5 to $7 American. They're like little personal pizzas, kind of like. Oh, that was invented in Italy? Woo! No doubt. That guy is turning in his grave. Raphael. Okay, this is kind of funny. Art attack. Israeli ex-sniper blasts paint in mental health message. Former Israeli army sniper David Reutman has turned his hand to action painting, using guns and live fire ranges instead of brushes in studio to blast colors. Actually, they look pretty good. I like his paintings. I mean, if you were smart, like if you were really smart, I think you could, just an innovative, and I think you could, and I think people have done this, right? They come up with some bogus painting that was done by their 3-year-old, and they sell them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, for example, these two scooters. You could buy some broken down scooters, probably, and these, green one doesn't look so good. There's your art piece right there. But it has to be a statement on life. So let's call it Too Tired to Scoot. Now, it has to be a statement on, could be commercialism, it could be the political, well, there you go, politics. So you have two sides of politics, and they're at odds, right? So they seem to be at different viewpoints, the way they're positioned. So let's not take it so literal. Let's just call it, but let's make it a little bit more, like conspiracy theories. How about conspiracy theory number 7? That's the title of this piece. Wait, we're broadcasting live. You're more than welcome to make a bid, but we have to start it at let's go 10 grand to start, and just send me a message on Twitch, and I'll give you my bank account information. No, we can't do that, right? Venmo? PayPal. All right. But yeah, he shoots the paint with his high velocity rifles, whatever they are. You can tell I know nothing about it. I was reading a thread today about sales. In other words, on Facebook, a Facebook thread about sales. And in the original post, the original poster mentioned God for some reason. I forget what it was, but somebody in the comments said, well, there is no God, so it doesn't matter. And this, of course, led to a whole separate discussion. And I think maybe that's why the original poster did that. They knew that it would get people fired up and increase the engagement on his post, which is devious but smart. And the one guy said, there's two guys who are leading this main discussion about God. And the one guy said something like, he said, I'm not saying there is no God. He said, I believe that Jesus existed. And the people in the Bible, I believe they existed. The most, that they were real people. But he said, I don't have evidence that there is a God. That's what he was saying. Whereas he said, I have evidence, provable evidence, that evolution took place. So I don't think I've ever heard this positioning before in my meanderings through social media. What he's saying is, I believe people in the Bible existed, the apostles and all that, but I don't see any. I have never been given clear evidence that there is a God. But I have been given evidence and have seen evidence, provable hypotheses, scientific evidence that there is, that science and evolution are provable. I'm not really explaining his position that well. That evidence-based science is real and that it's provable, that we can prove, but no one has been able to prove the existence of God, to prove it. Did I say that right? Does that sound right? And somebody else commented. This was kind of funny. Somebody else commented, yeah, it's almost like, as a counter argument to his argument, he said, yeah, it's almost like it's called faith. That you'd have to have faith that it's true. Which is kind of funny. That's why it's called faith. Like, just that one line. Something like that. Like, in other words, the guy had like 15 paragraphs, and somebody wrote, that's why it's called faith. There's one person I follow online, or they're an influencer, and the real it doesn't. Most of the influencers that have a big following, there's a couple I could name right off the top of my head, but it's not, the lessons aren't in what they're saying. The lessons are in what they're doing. Even with Trump, you can learn things from Trump, but not what he was saying, right? But it was what he was doing. I'm not saying they're, moral lessons. I'm just saying people would get wired up about what he was saying. But you have to think in terms of why, before, when he was around, you had to think it, or even maybe now. It wasn't what he was, the it was all a diversion. A lot of his tactics were diversionary, right? Similarly, with influencers, their posts, most of their posts, are stating a position that they know will get their base riled up, even if the base is 100 people. So the lesson is, if you want to lead a group and build a Facebook group, for example, you can't just, like, people say, well, I'm going to share information that will help people. That's good. That's what you should. But you have to do more than that. If you really want to build a big group, you have to get them. You have to build a tribe, really. You have to build I'm just telling you some marketing. I don't know. This might be boring for marketing grads or whatever. But it's not enough you have to build a fan base. And even more than that, you have to sort of build somebody that will back you up in a fight. This one guy is really good at it. He's really good, and I can't say his name because I don't want his people coming after me. But he is really, really good at building a fan base online, and it's not just from his content. In fact, most of it, meaning the content of his posts. In fact, most of his posts don't deal with his main talent. Most of his posts are positioning himself as us against them. And you would say, well, that's a pretty hack. Yes. But I'm telling you, it works. It really works. To me, to me, it's too simple. It's too much. It's kind of like, to me, it's almost like a music artist that decides that they're going to be a success or wants to be a success in a certain genre. So they adapt every tired cliche of that genre in an effort to, fit in and be successful. But here's the thing about that. It works. But if you're a true artist, don't you want to be a little... So I guess that's maybe the trick is to, fit in and enough that people recognize, oh, that's a bluegrass singer, that's a jazz musician, right? So they know, like, everybody has to fit things in their head. I think a good example is who I love so much. Let me see if I can... No, that's probably not a good example. But I think as an artist, you'd want to put your own spin on it to where you've eventually sort of outgrow the original bucket. And then you're sort of your own... Waylon Jennings, for example, is he a folk singer? Is he a country singer? He's Waylon Jennings. Same with Willie Nelson. I think former Waylon Jennings, but Willie Nelson might be a better example. Willie Nelson's Willie Nelson. So I think you want to get to where you're not just posting memes on Facebook in order to grow your fan book. that you know they're going to agree with. And it's a little bit too cut and dry to me. No personality, no spin, no personal spin, no added take. He's just reposting slogans. To me is boring. All right. Let's keep going. This is Reuters. Busy bees in Colombia get respite in bamboo hotels. Solitary bees are enjoying new digs. Whatever. I get it. Ooh. High anxiety. World's longest pedestrian suspension bridge opens in Portugal. Wow. This guy named Hugo became one of the first people to cross the longest pedestrian bridge in the world when it opened Thursday in, I'm going to say, Arouca, Arouca, in northern Portugal. Wow. No thanks. All right, let's go see how the bidding is doing on my art piece. This is my first art piece, so I'm looking to get $300,000 to $400,000 on this. That's the estimate for this bid. This is called Conspiracy Theory, and it's a statement on the current political climate. So, hold it. I'm on the phone with my people. They're saying we're only accepting $5,000 minimum bids. And we hope to clear $300,000 to $400,000. So, folks, get on that. If you, what? I mean, Dogecoin was a joke, and is now one of the highest valued bitcoins or cryptos in the world. It was a joke. So, how come I can't do it? How come my art piece, that is in a beautiful position in this park, people can come by and view it and then bid? $5,000 minimum. By the way, this is how I am when I'm not streaming, just questioning these ridiculous things and then laughing at my own jokes. All right, Reuters. Climate change summit glitch cuts off Macron, puzzles Putin. A technical glitch. That's not odd news. Meet the man. There you go. Meet the man in a bear suit walking from LA to San Francisco. He's got a giant head, perfectly rounded red cheeks, and a bobble tail. He's walking from LA to San Francisco. There he is. He looks like kind of like a chipmunk. Oh, it's a bear. All right, we just said that. But he looks more like a chipmunk to me. He doesn't know what inspired him to dress up as this character that he calls Bear Son and start the 400-mile trip. It was an impulse decision. I didn't plan it out. I'll bet that's true. He left on April 12th. He started a GoFundMe. So he's collected $7,100. There you go. You know, if I was smart, I would take it. Well, the only problem with my art piece at this point, I think, is clearing the brand labels that you see on those scooters. But if I was smart, what I would do is digitize that, blur the names. I mean, like make a digital painting of it. You know what I mean? Like you can manipulate the photo so it looks like a painting. Then blur the names, then make it an NFT, and put it up. I bet you this guy made $7,100. He's walking in a bear suit. He visits gas stations for meals and to clean up. And he just sleeps inside the suit when he finds himself at the end of the day. He says it's taken longer than he thought, but he's not in a rush. I mean, kudos to this guy. He's enjoying the views, posts on Instagram, taking inspiration. It's been pretty wild, he said. It inspired me. It inspires me to do new things. It brings new ideas. It fuels my creativity. It helps out a lot, and it feels good too. Well, good for him. I mean, you know, those suits are hot, right? And I guess maybe it was a good idea to do it now because it's nice and cool outside as compared to, you know, July. So let's give this guy some shout out again. What's his name? Jesse Larios, Larios. 400 miles. So let's figure you're walking 3 miles an hour. So 3 miles an hour. So every day you can probably do what about? I'm sure they covered this in their story, but that'd be pretty leisurely. But let's use 3 miles an hour. So every day, let's say you walk 12 hours, so 36 miles a day. Let's just round it off to 40 miles a day. Was it 400 miles? Oh, so that's not that long. Am I saying that right? 3? But that's a long day, right? But what else are you doing in the bear suit? Let's say you walk 10 hours a day, 30 miles a day. Let's do it that way. And so into 3,600 would be 12 days. Am I doing that right? And then what do you get? About another 40 miles left. And so that's 13 days and change. It's still not bad, right? A couple weeks you can do it. Oh, okay. It sounded when they said 400 miles, it sounded like it would take longer than that. But still, that's a 10-hour day every day. At 3 miles an hour, 30 miles a day, 13 days and change. All right, guys, that one wore me out, the bear. So if you see this guy, what was the date on this story? Maybe it's over. I think we've lost the story. I've lost the story. Well, maybe he's still en route. So if you see him, hand him $20 out the window. I thought it was graffiti, but I think it's pipes. Hand this guy $20 out the window. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.